though the weather outside is frightful. As they say, we got an inch and a half or so of sleet and freezing rain, and I managed to scrape the half of it off of the driveway yesterday. In some places I got bare spots, not too much, but the slope down there, it's not a steep slope, it's a gentle slope, but it's enough when it's covered with ice that you probably want something that gives you some traction. I had yak tracks on my feet. They're like a rubber booty that has wire wound around and to give you some traction on ice. That's what we used when we were out here yesterday, and I should have it on today, but I'm standing on the bare spots and not moving. So that's the weather outside, which is frightful. It's Christmas time. There's Christmas over there. But the fire inside's delightful, so let's go in and see what's different in here. The Elan is still, it's still a wonderful little car. I did a couple of late season get-togethers in it. There was a club, local club, the Keystone British Car Club, had an event. I went to that with this, and then there was the local, there's a restoration shop near here, Ragtops and Roadsters, and they have, before we put them away, the last Sunday in November, oh no, it's the Sunday after Thanksgiving, that's it. So they go out and do a drive. But the really big story is that car up there. And why it's a really big story is that it has a big dent. It's not a big dent, it's a dent. A little hard to see. I'll bring the car down, show different angles of it. But at any rate, I was on a drive. I was heading on a drive towards a drive, getting together with other folks that have the FSI engines, and lost traction on a turn and slid sideways into a road sign, and so that's what did that nice dent. It made a hash of the wheel and some of the suspension arms on this side. That seems to be the extent of the mechanical damage, and then there's the body work that needs to be done. I've fixed the mechanical stuff, but I thought while I'm doing this, obviously I'm going to need paint work, let's get the other stuff I need. And so that's back in there, which I'll tell you about after I pull boxes out and can get at them. And then since I needed to replace a wheel, oh, there's a surprise down there too. Here's a little bit better perspective on the dent. You should see the sign, that's all I can say. I killed that sucker. Broke it off, in fact. The little stub of the base is still down in the ground. Here's the corner of Doom itself. You can sort of see the skid marks there, but you can really see all the gravel that was just outside the white line. There's my skid marks. Once I hit that gravel, I was done. The car ended up there sideways. There's the sign laying on the ground, and there's the pole broken right off at the base of the ground. Here's the nice gentleman who came and fetched me off the mountain. We took the regular tire off and put the spare on. It's neat that a 911 has a spare, if you ask me, but we had to put that on just to move the car. I had the car looked at a Porsche dealer in Virginia, but eventually made the decision to bring it home and repair it myself. I was actually able to drive the car into the garage, which is very encouraging at the time. There's the broken wheel with chunks missing out of it. Here's the suspension before it was disassembled. You can see it's all pretty mangled up. There's some dents in that suspension arm from the wheel. Here are the suspension arms are off of the car. I think the one lesson I take from this is to put genuine Porsche parts back on the car. They took the brunt of the accident. Look at that. That really bent there. But yeah, they took the brunt of it. Here's old versus new. And the subframe looks undamaged as far as I can tell, and the car drives fine now that these parts have been replaced. So this all happened in very rural West Virginia, in a place where there is no cell service, and the reason being that they have some sort of radio telescope there. There's a several hundred square mile area that they turn off cell service so that the telescope can hear tiny little sounds in outer space. So that's where this all happened. That made it even extra fun. But I don't know that I've done any video on this. These are some Recaro seats that I got. There's some challenges with the base, but I'll deal with that at some point. They don't, essentially, they don't move. They are where they are, and that's that. But they were reupholstered by the previous person in the exact same Metropole blue that this interior is in this car, and using the leather sourced from the company that covers seats for Porsche. And these are painted the same polar silver as the outside of this car. So isn't that cool? So they're nice. They're very nice seats. I need to work on getting them to be adjustable. But the guy was the same height I am, and so we both fit in where they are at the moment, and that worked out. But those are great seats, and more to come on those as I improve them, or hopefully improve them. So since I will need paint work, I thought, well, let's do the bodywork changes that I've been wanting to do on the car at the same time and get all the paint done at once. So this is a piece that replaces this part on the car, and it has a little ducktail on it, as you can see, and bolts in there, and attaches in the same spot and fits really well. So they say I have to try to test fit it first, but that'll give me a little ducktail in the back. And I've always wanted a ducktail. The full chunk lid ducktails are, from what I hear, there's a lot of fitment issues and a lot of fiddling. So I might, maybe I should have gone that way. I don't know, but I'm going to try this. So I'll do a video on test fitting this and whatnot. But that's the one piece that needs to go in. And of course, assuming it fits well, which I've been told it really does, fit perfectly, not a big deal at all. That'll get painted and installed. And next, we'll talk about what's in there. And what's in there, in that big box, 1 full day's worth of production out of the bubble wrap factory, protecting this. A genuine Porsche part. It's the aero front bumper for a 996.2 car, and that's what I have. So if I'm wanting to do this, I'm going to be putting, I wanted to do something about a lip. This seemed to be an easy way to do that. Plus I want to do something at some point. I'm going to put the third radiator in, and this will make that easier. And it'll give the car just a little touch more style. And so it's a little bit of aero on the front, and with the wing on the back, a little bit of aero on the back, and that's the idea there. Now, there's more boxes hiding back there behind the Elan. And these boxes behind the Elan contain wheels. I've stuck photos in here somewhere of the wheel that came off that side and why I need another one. I found a used one, but it's not very great, so I have to do something about wheels, and I've been thinking about doing an upgrade for a while. And so these are Apex EC7s. They're a forged wheel. They're very light. From published numbers that I've been able to find, the combination of wheels and tires on these will be very close to the same weight, if not a bit lighter than what's on the car now. And these will be an inch wider front and rear. These are actually a little bit more than GT3 size. I think the GT3 is 8.5 in the front, and these are 9-inch front dimension, and 11 inches, which is 1 inch wider in the back. So I'll get a little bit more width. I'll get some, I can add bigger tires on the back, of course, and different look. I would have loved to keep a 5-spoke. I love the 5-spoke wheels on the car, but this is as close as I'm going to get, I think, to that. So hopefully I don't add a lot of unsprung weight. I'm trying to add 0 or subtract. Plus I'll get a little bit of traction. So that's those will be going on too. So that's an update on that poor fellow over there and all his woes, trials, and tribulations. Why is it taking you so long to do this? Actually, the accident occurred in June. So there was repairs to the car that needed to be done, which took a little while. And then the replacement wheel I got is not ideal, and so there's a shake in the car, just a little bit of one under acceleration, and it just doesn't give me the warm fuzzies. Plus, this got on the road, and it's been an absolute delight to drive. And I spent the summer driving this, and it was easy to do. It's practical. It's got space in the back. We had a pretty mild summer in terms of temperature and the amount of precipitation, so it was easy to just hop in this and go where I wanted and do what I needed. And so that's what happened. It just took my attention away. So this is going to get some attention. That bumper will come off, and that bumper will go on. I assume it's going to fit wonderfully. Oh, that reminds me, that, around again, 360, that bumper and this box came with other stuff. Came with all the accoutrement. This is a lip that goes, attaches to the bottom edge of the car. This is a trim piece, trim pieces, all the little clips and stuff, another trim piece, clip thingies, and then of course the big black background piece that goes in there and fills in here. And according to the Porsche parts manuals, the parts behind this are the same for that bumper as they are for this bumper, so I don't need to get duct work to get into the radiators and things like that. Didn't need to replace that. Just the I'm just doing the skin. So that's what that is. So those all came with it. That's kind of neat. And it seems odd to me, but as it turns out, I mean, folks in the United States are well aware, and other parts of the world too, are well aware of the tariff situation and what it's done to the price of parts. That's not a cheap part, but the price is exactly the same now as it was a year ago. And so it seemed to me to be, prudent. Like if I was ever going to do it now. So this was the same price I bought it, and it's a genuine Porsche, and hopefully that'll easily fitting part of it. I'm going to test fit that too, and test fit that, and get it painted, and then stick all that stuff on, and stick it all in the car. Get some tires, just the rears. I have the GT3 size on the front already, so I'll just have those taken off and put on the new wheels, and then some new tires for the back. And hopefully the outcome will be this fellow is back in shape for another full season of great road experiences.